Hi everyone, it's Pete and Grada here from the Purple House at Forth.
And tonight we're excited to talk about some very personal topics. And it's in relation to a package that we're launching. We've been working on putting it together now for 8 weeks.
And we're really excited about it because it's something that we've worked out.
Can you see it?
Over seeing thousands of clients in it. It's a package called the Ultimate Vitality Boost that we've put together that helps pretty well 100% of our clients.
And it helped ourselves as well, so we're going to get up and personal tonight. So the package is called the Ultimate Vitality Boost, and we'll put a link in the comment box for you to check it out tonight when we finish talking about it.
So you'll be able to go straight into it and check it out.
Yeah. So the most exciting thing probably is that we discovered how well it worked for us through our personal pain, so that you don't have to suffer, and it works well for all our clients. So I'll start with Peter's story, because when Pete, you would never have guessed it, but when Pete was born,
I almost wasn't here.
That's right, there wasn't much of him. No, that's not true. He was number 7, I guess, were you?
I apparently looked like a skun rabbit.
That's right. So Pete's parents lived on a dairy farm, and when Pete was born in 1958, what his parents didn't know was that he was extremely allergic to all types of dairy. So ironically, he was born on a dairy farm, and his parents, I guess they were just like most people, they didn't have a lot of money. And Peter was number 7 out of a big family. Pete's mom didn't have a lot of milk. She was a wonderful mom though, and very nurturing, but she never had a lot of breast milk. So her milk dried up pretty quickly, and then she started to top Peter up with cow's milk, fresh from the cows, from the farm. And what they didn't realize that they were killing Peter with the dairy products. Because he was extremely allergic to it, so he couldn't keep it down. He was projectile vomiting, and for many years, even when I met Pete when he was 20, if he got a drop of milk on his skin or anywhere, or his lips, it would swell up. So it's actually a miracle that he survived. So actually,
they tried goat's milk as well, and that was exactly the same. And back in 1958, that's showing my age.
Telling all our secrets.
It wasn't heard of very much.
And not in Sheffield or Roland.
And the child health nurses and doctors didn't know, couldn't give my mother any advice of what to do to feed
right.
him.
So Pete's mum used to be a school teacher and like independent lady. And she remembered in her Reader's Digest, because she loved reading the Reader's Digest, reading an article about Arab race horses, how they did well, they raced well on dates and bananas. So she thought, oh well, Peter looks like a little racehorse to me. Now I don't know how she made that connection. But she started messing up dates and bananas, which would have been, quite a strain on their budget at that time, but it kept Peter alive, didn't it, for many years.
That's what I grew up on, and I actually still like them.
Yeah, Peter loves his dates still.
But they aren't so good for me now because they're full of sugar.
That's right.
But that's what I grew up on, and
his brothers his older brothers used to tease him all the time because they were jealous.
They thought I was spoiled because I had all the treats.
They still think he's spoiled, which he is, of course, because now he's spoiled by me. Not really, Peter spoils me.
But in my teens, I also developed further allergies to different proteins, and ended up vomiting again, and it really affected my mental health as well. I got quite depressed and moody. And
tell me about it.
But when at about age 30, 35, I was introduced to enzymes, and that turned my life around. I have enzymes, I've had them every day since, and I can eat pretty well everything now without any adverse effect.
When you take your enzymes.
So if I'd had enzymes, given enzymes when I was a baby, I probably would have been able to tolerate milk as well. We do have some Digest Easy ginger product that we recommend for
we have a lot of for babies
and children.
We have a lot of answers for mums with babies and children because that's really close to my heart. It's close to Peter's heart.
Yeah.
It's very, very close to my heart as well because I'm a mum of 6 children and how many grandchildren? 14, I think. Yeah. And you know, these days allergies, life-threatening allergies, are a lot more common than Pete when Pete was a baby, and he's really lucky to be alive. So we do a lot of work with mums and babies very, very successfully as well. And
then fast forward a few years after that, and we were renovating the Purple House over where we had our clinic, where Alchemy is now, and Johanna and I were under the house doing some work and heard a big crash out the front, and we raced out, and here Grada was being hit by a truck, left for dead with massive internal and skeletal injuries. I thought she was paralysed initially, and it was shocking, but she survived, as you can see. And
maybe I'm a twin or something.
And
evil twin.
We set to discover the best ways to get Grada back to good health, as good as possible, as quickly as possible. And
because I had, after my bones all healed, like I had so many breaks, I didn't even count them, Pete, like fractures.
No.
Fractures all through my spine and ribs and pelvis and so on. Like, you know, too many to list. But my skeleton recovered fine and it didn't really cause me any pain. But the worst pain that I suffered for many years afterwards was all in the soft tissue damage in my gut, really, wasn't it, Pete?
Well, the bowel and bladder was, they were paralysed initially, but then started...
And they were also like smashed up with lots of internal bleeding that created a lot of adhesions.
So Grada suffered quite a lot of very painful, ugly
episodes.
Bowel obstructions,
Yeah.
where they were, life-threatening, they were serious.
For about 7 years afterwards.
And that led us to Chicago, where we learnt the biomedics
testing.
Live and dried blood and urine and saliva testing.
Well, actually what Pete is trying to say is that's a method to test whether your heart's healthy or your kidneys or your liver, if you're producing enough hydrochloric acid. It pretty much gives us the document, the sum total of the chemistry inside our body. Because, for instance, when you have scans and x-rays and MRIs, I had plenty of those, like I probably had $20,000 worth. And, eventually it all looks pretty good from the outside. That's all they can see on scans and x-rays, that the outside, the structure looks normal again. But what's actually happening on the inside, like are your kidneys responding, is your stomach producing enough hydrochloric acid, is your liver working? You can't tell that from scans or MRIs, of course. Because it's just looking on the outside of your car, you think, oh yeah, that looks good. Or you open the door to the car and you see everything is intact, that looks good. But actually, we needed to learn the exact measurements or ways to find out how my metabolism was going. And it wasn't going very good, really, was it?
No, it wasn't. And when we were there doing the course, Grada suffered a really bad bowel obstruction, ended up in hospital.
And it nearly killed me.
And we started, one of the instructors gave us some of the supplements that they recommend for when you get out of balance, and we started implementing those straight away. And 3 days later, Grada was able to fly back to Australia without any
hiccups
at all. And she only had a few sips of
chicken soup.
Chicken soup at every stopover, which kept her going. But her bowel started working again, which was amazing.
Yeah, the doctors in hospital couldn't believe it, you know, how quickly I bounced back, like incredibly quick.
So we started utilising that with our clients to help them as well, and we've come up with something that'll get the digestion working.
It goes into 4 steps.
It will help with skin problems, skin rashes, pimples, acne. It also replaces vital nutrients that we aren't getting.
So why do we need vital nutrients, by the way?
Because we normally get those through our food, but there's none in the soils.
Okay, so I'll just
particularly iodine.
All
That's the thyroid needs.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to say, when you're missing out on vital nutrients, especially minerals and trace minerals, you become like a limp lettuce leaf, that's what I call it. And so, like, also you lose your libido, which kills intimacy, right? Yeah. So
our instructor in Chicago, he said, if you see a rock, it's full of minerals, and it's very hard. So if you don't have your minerals and trace minerals, you won't get very hard. You fellas particularly.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
but that's true, because like, if you can't stand up, what else can't stand up? You could say that as well. Yeah. But so it's the same for women, by the way, because hot flushes and menopausal symptoms, which everyone, the dreaded menopause, everyone dreads it. It's also kind of a man-made invention, you could say, because many years ago women didn't have menopause because they didn't.
They put men on pause.
Because actually, menopause is caused by, like, again, a lot of the time your liver is overworked and underpaid, which we'll talk about in a minute. People don't have enough minerals in their body. That's absolute key. So you need your salt, because everyone is mineral deficient. And people are eating the wrong oils, and the wrong oils cause hot flushes. So the wrong oils, of course, are fish and chips type oil, canola oil, margarines and the likes, you know, which we always talk about. They should be avoided at all costs. So I don't think I've been through menopause yet. Or would you say now? I'm fishing for a compliment here. I actually was very crabby today, so I had a bit of a shit on the liver today. But you know, that's probably one day a year maybe. But
the liver is also the organ that's responsible to break down hormones. So if a woman is having hormonal issues, it's often a liver issue.
Yeah.
And that's where one of these supplements, the beet flow that we've often talked about, is really essential to get
So we'll tell you what's in it actually. Four key supplements. And when you buy them all together, you get a discount. Of course, that's what it's all about. Yeah. Plus, you buy the booklet is free that comes with it that explains how important it is. And so it's beet flow enzymes, immunosymbiotic restore to heal and seal your gut, that's your intestines.
That's your good probiotics.
And iodine. Yeah. So iodine to me is absolute key, and because even the liver likes iodine. Okay, but I was just going to go back onto the liver. So we talk about bile flow a lot. And we just assume that everybody knows what bile flow is, till suddenly we realized, hey, nobody probably knows what bile is. So here I have a jug that's full of water, but it's actually, I'm just showing you how much bile your liver secretes per day, this much. See, that's a lot, isn't it? Every day your liver...
It gets stored in the gallbladder.
And in your liver.
And in the liver. And each time the stomach lets out a tiny little bit of acid food, the gallbladder gives a good squeeze and sends a gush of bile, which is caustic, to neutralise that stomach acid.
And it sterilises your gut as well, so it kills candida and other rubbish. It's like caustic soda or baking soda that we sometimes use to clean our oven. So your body makes its own detergent, you could say,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
it.
bile, and it's like amazing. Yeah, imagine if you're washing your greasy plates under cold water without any detergent, you're not going to get the fat off, are you? So,
because that's what digests the fats, actually, the bile.
That's right.
And if we eat too many carbohydrates and sugars,
I don't know if you can see.
I'm not sure whether
Yeah,
you can see it. This is what gets stored in your liver and sometimes in the gallbladder, but these are liver stones, cholesterol liver stones. So they start off as fatty cholesterol stones, get caught in the gallbladder and calcify, and that's when people have trouble. Start having pain when the gallbladder contracts, but you can get rid of them, and we need our gallbladder for proper digestion.
Preserve your gallbladder at all costs. Don't allow yourself to be persuaded to have your gallbladder removed unless it's like really sick and diseased and life-threatening.
Life-threatening.
If you have gallbladder issues, come and talk to us first. But what we recommend, and this is what I did in Chicago, by the way.
If you keep the bile nice and running with beet flow, those stones won't occur.
Yeah, so when I was really crook in Chicago, I had to take 2 beet flow every 20 minutes to get my digestion, to get things working again, and it actually did start to work again. So actually every 2 or 3 months we have a completely new liver, and our body rebuilds itself non-stop to the extent that every year you have a completely new body. And so we need to be a little bit intelligent and give our physical body, give our cells what it needs, so that you can reproduce a better body, like better than last year, and last year can be better than the year before, or next year you can feel a lot better than you do now, and it's totally true.
So hopefully, or we should be able to get all the nutrients we need for good cells out of the food we eat, but
that's not true.
If we're not digesting them well, we're not doing it. And the vegetables that we eat today are devoid of enzymes, so we really need to be swallowing an enzyme mix with every meal to get the nutrients out of the food we eat, because they just don't have enzymes anymore. And that leads to further issues, but particularly digestive issues. But the cells aren't going to be made properly because they haven't got the nutrients. And that's where the ultimate vitality boost comes into action, because the beet flow gets that bile flow going. Omnizyme, which is the enzyme mix,
Omni means everything, so it's got every enzyme, under the sun.
And that'll help digest every type of food. Then the immunosymbiotic immune restores the good bacteria in the gut, and that's 80% of your immune system belongs to those good bacteria, and there's a big gut-brain connection. We produce more serotonin, which is our happy hormones, in the gut than we do the brain. So it's important to replace those every day, because we tend to kill them off.
And it really works for your personality as well. It brings out your best person, really. The sun starts shining again, you could say.
Well, that's when my digestive system wasn't working, I sometimes wasn't a pleasant person to be around. I got moody and depressed, but when I was introduced to enzymes and introduced probiotics, my bad moods disappeared. My good ones improved. And you can ask.
And Peter has a great sense of humour now. He's very chilled out. He's actually super chilled out, and he laughs all the time.
My kids hardly knew me like that, which.
No, that's a shame. I do grieve over that our children, they used to, they remember Peter being depressed and grumpy a lot. They always tried to cheer him up, but that was hard work. Anyway, so because of course happiness is an inside job, and it's not always to do with your mental, how do I say it, capacity, it's totally way more to do with the gut. By the way, if you drink a lot of alcohol, because in Australia there is a big drinking culture, you kill your gut bacteria as well. So that makes people grumpy, like you have a hangover because you're dehydrated and from the toxins. But you also have a hangover because you've just killed all your good gut bacteria.
Especially if you drink wine. Wine is full of sulfites that kill the good gut bacteria.
The immunosymbiotic is a special capsule that doesn't open in the stomach, because then they get distorted. It actually goes through the stomach and into the intestines. And it's all the supplements that we get for our digestion, we source them from our teachers and doctors, mentors in America. So they're the best quality in the world, and also very economical, hey Peter? Because they don't have a middleman. So we're really excited about that. So we're going to attach the link, and I would like you to click on it if you want to change your life and check it out. And let us know how you get on with that.
And the fourth one is the iodine, which we need really from the day we're conceived to the day we die, because it's really important for brain development. To
protect you from cancer.
And
every cell in the body needs it.
Kills cancer cells, kills simple cells, so bacteria, viruses and fungi. And the thyroid, which is in control of a lot of our hormonal system and
moods.
Our moods, our metabolism is run with iodine, the thyroid.
Your thyroid is like the starter motor of the car, right? So if it doesn't start, that means if you can't get started in the morning, it's always a thyroid issue. And if you feel like you have to go back to sleep in the afternoon, that's often still a thyroid issue. With the ultimate vitality boost, it's like you're boosting the engine of your car. So like the thyroid gets a chance to recover, the engine gets a chance to run better, and it really brings out the best in you. So, in the past, previous generations, people could say everything in moderation, if you just live moderate life. Pete's parents used to say that, but that doesn't apply to us anymore today, because everything in moderation isn't going to buy you the best life anymore, because of the toxic world we live in and the stresses, and then our food is so depleted. So we really need to supplement. That's what our opinion is.
We're really excited because it has turned a lot of people's health around in fairly quick time.
Yeah, that's right.
We've had people come back in 3 or 4, 5 weeks, and their symptoms of skin rashes have disappeared, their digestion's cranked up so they don't have irritable bowel syndrome or...
I'll post the link, Elizabeth. We haven't posted it yet. So I'll post the link and then you can check it out. So it's pretty much, the 4 key segments or ingredients, or the 4 key steps to rebuild your body. And it means you don't per se need to have the biomedics testing, Pete? But you can still, of course, if you're sick, you need to find out what your individual...
There are some other specific imbalances the cellular level that...
we discovered, after all these years, we had a big aha, and we put our heads together and we realized, well, what are the 4 things that everyone needs that we tell everyone to take in that seat? So we're really, really excited about that. So I don't know if there's anything else. I was just thinking, listening to Peter here, if Pete is 61 now, so his life changed around when he was 35, so that's like nearly 26 years ago. So just imagine if Peter hadn't taken enzymes for all those years, and then, added with beet flow and iodine, he may not even be alive.
I would have been hit over the head a long time ago.
That's right. He wouldn't be sitting in next to me, that's for sure. But that's actually good. And I probably wouldn't be here either. I don't know. I would still be having my bowel blockages and all the rest, because it's like we were really both going through life, stop and start, like have a good patch, then the wheels would come off the cart again, and then have another good patch, and it was like really stopping and starting and so much effort. And life shouldn't be like that. Life is really meant to be enjoyed with a good body.
And we would love that for you.
We absolutely want you to have those results. And just a note of warning from Grada as well, because I come from Holland, from Europe, where the soils are very mineral rich, and so that probably makes a lot of Dutch people arrogant and bossy, or be seen as arrogant and bossy, but what it really is, we still have a lot more minerals in our body, which gives us a sense of a drive, don't we? And so Peter is, what is he, 4th generation Australian or something like that?
Australians are laid back, she'll be right, mate.
Yeah, but not only that, I just wanted to go back to Pete. Being born, he basically wasn't viable for life, right? And that happened 61 years ago. So the key was really that his parents were enzyme deficient. Well, his mom definitely was. She lost probably everything from giving birth to Pete was actually number 8 because she lost a baby somewhere.
And
this we're seeing today, we're seeing a lot of infertility and premature
prem babies. It's due to the full neonatal intensive care units is due to mainly enzyme deficiency.
Yeah, and mineral deficiency, iodine deficiency, and enzyme deficiency. And I don't think there are any human studies done, but there have been animal studies done that prove that. So, like, say with cats, because cats can reproduce a lot faster than us, of course, right? So each generation got more enzyme deficient, and then like the 3rd generation was actually infertile. So I'm pleading with you to reverse the trend. So start giving your children salt, like salt is minerals, that's your mineral supply, so they start to get some drive back into their bodies, and start giving your children a good enzyme as well.
Enzyme, probiotics, and
if you want to give your children enzymes and you don't want to give them a tablet, give your children fermented food like sauerkraut every day. That's full of enzymes. Like that's fermented vegetable.
We do also have a powder for fermented foods, probiotic foods for kids.
Yeah,
which
that's really good.
A lot of kids quite like mixed in their food.
Mm-hmm. So this is all stuff that you need to know.
And that's really important for kids with ADHD and hyperactive kids as well, to get the gut full of good gut bacteria and get them digesting fats properly, having a lot of fats in their diet rather than too many sugars.
Yeah, and if your children are sad or miserable or like unhappy or they want to kill themselves, we hear that sometimes. They want to die, they don't want to live. You also need to give them good bacteria. I'm not saying that that's the only key, but it's definitely one aspect of it, okay? All right.
Okay.
So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to...
So I'll just drink my bile.
No. I'll attach the link and then, please click on it and check it out, because we really, really want you to enjoy the same results that we've enjoyed.
Yeah, and don't just click and read about it.
Well, do read about it. Read and share it.
Read and share it.
Give it a go.
Give it a go.
Yeah, you have nothing to lose, and you'll be surprised how awesome you can feel in a couple of weeks' time.
Everything to gain.
All right, thanks guys for listening, and tune in next week. Have a great week. Bye.